Hello, BookTube. This is Alan, and welcome to my channel. I received a gift card from my brother for a half-price bookstore. It was a Christmas gift, and I know it's the last week of February, but one of my brothers has also dementia, excuse me, and he's not able to go anywhere, and so he asked a friend of his to go to Half Price Bookstore and buy a gift certificate. So he gave me a gift certificate about 2 weeks ago. So I used that to go today to pick up some books. One of the things I wanted to pick up was for my books that I'm reading in each decade, the in the calendar, in the Half Price Bookstore calendar. And so March, March we have The Great Gatsby by S. Scott Fitzgerald, The Rarey Blues by Langston Hughes, The Sound and the Fury by William Faulkner, A Room in One's Own by Virginia Woolf, Ulysses by James Joyce, The Age of Innocence by Edith Wharton, The Wasteland by T.S. Eliot, and The Sun Also Rises by Ernest Hemingway. Those books were first published in the decade of the 1920s. So I went ahead and picked A Room in One's Own by Virginia Woolf, and I just happened to find it at the Half Price Bookstore I went to here in Dallas. I didn't know this book was this short. It's only, my goodness, it's only 125 pages. And so I might pick another one for a decade of the 1920s, because this is very, very short. It'll take me about a week to finish this one. So I might pick another one from this list. I'm not sure yet what I'll pick. I read an Edith Wharton book for this month, and there's The Age of Innocence there. And I haven't read The Great Gatsby by Scott Fitzgerald, nor the William Faulkner book, The Sound and the Fury. I believe I had that one somewhere. And Ulysses, I saw a couple of copies of Ulysses there at Half Price Bookstore, but I just passed them up. In The Wasteland by T.S. Eliot, and The Sun Also Rises by Ernest Hemingway. I haven't read any of those, so I just might go ahead and pick up another one and read two for the month of March for the decade of the 1920s in which they were first published. The music for the 1920s, the decade, there was a complete Hot 5 and the Hot 7 recordings by Louis Armstrong, Queen of the Blues, Volume 1 by Bessie Smith, complete recordings 1922 to 1925 by the New Orleans Rhythm Kings, Rhapsody in Blue by George Gershwin, King of the Country Blues by Blind Lemon Jefferson, who actually was here in Dallas. Was born here in Dallas and recorded it in Dallas. The complete Jelly Roll Morton's Red Hot Peppers, and the best of early Ellington by Duke Ellington. The movies that came out in the decade of the 1920s were The Cabinet at Dr. Caligari, which I saw was a very good movie, The Jazz Singer, one of the first talkies, Passion of Joan of Arc, Steamboat Willie, Nosferatu, which I also saw, the silent vampire movie, very good, The Kid, The Gold Rush, and Battleship Potemkin. Battleship Potemkin had the orchestra score was actually by Dmitri Shostakovich, which brings me to my next book, which is this one here. It's a Symphony for the City of the Dead. It's Dmitri Shostakovich and the Siege of Leningrad by M.T. Anderson. This book was published by Candlewood Press, and it was has a Kirkus Review blurb on the back. first published in 2015, I believe. Yes, 2015. This is the first edition. And right here it says, this is a true story of a city under siege, the triumph of bravery and defiance in the face of terrifying odds. It's also a look at the power and layering meaning of music in bewildered lives. And it basically tells about Dmitri Shostakovich's Symphony No. 4, which is the Leningrad Symphony. So you have the first movement, the second movement, and you have different third movement of the symphony. And the death of yesterday, the birth of tomorrow. This is a very good picture of the composer Dmitri Shostakovich, part 1. And very good illustrations and pictures in here. So this would be very enjoyable to read. The next one I picked up from Half Price Bookstore was actually the what I will be reading. I might read this earlier. This is the decade of the 1930s, which starts in April, and one of the books is Murder on the Orient Express, so I picked that one up. And this is by Berkeley. This is the trade paperback, Murder on the Orient Express. I might pick up another one because next month is mystery month. I already have several mystery books located. And another one I picked up is The Killers of the Earth by Ken Follett. I like Ken Follett. I like his readings. I read Eye of the Needle, and I read The Man from St. Petersburg. Excuse me. Which are very good books. This one is, what else have I read? That's about it. Eye of the Needle, Man from St. Petersburg. And this one actually is 990 pages. But that wasn't my March Mammoth book. I went to a charity shop this past Friday and picked up some books. And one was my March Mammoth book. And this is The Best of Rumpole by John Mortimer. And I've heard people on BookTube talk about Rumpole and John Mortimer. This book came out. It doesn't have a dust jacket on it. It's in Viking Press. And let's see when it was published. Yeah, it was first published in 1993. Viking Penguin. So you have Rumpole in the younger generation, Rumpole in the show folk, Rumpole in the tap end, Rumpole in the bubble reputation, Rumpole a la carte, and Rumpole's Children of the Devil. And the last one is Rumpole on the Prowl. So I thought I would give this one a try, and John Mortimer's book about Rumpole, and see. Let's see what I think about it. The next book was this one. It was called Slaves in the Family. It's a national bestseller by Edward Ball from Ballantine Books. This one came out in let me see. Let's see when this was published. There's a lot of blurbs in the front. Inside front cover. Copyright in 1999 by Edward Ball. First came out in 1998. And this Ballantine Books edition came out in January 1999. Slaves in the Family. The last one I got at the charity shop is my March Mammoth read. And this is James Clavell's Gai-Jin. Gai-Jin. It's the third book in the Asian saga. Shogun was the first one. I remember reading Shogun, but it's been a while since I read Shogun. And I also saw the miniseries, which starred Richard Chamberlain, and it was the second largest viewing of a miniseries in TV history. They don't do miniseries anymore. All there is just reality shows on TV. And so I don't watch TV. So this is the third one in the Asian Saga series. Shogun was the first. Taipan was the second. Takes place in 1841. Gai-Jin was the third. Takes place in 1862. Then you have King Rat, Noble House, 1963, and Whirlwind in 1979. So this mass market paperback by Dell comes in at 1,234 pages, and I've read this yesterday while I was at work, and I read it today, and on page 126. So I got a little bit to go before I finish it, and see when this first came out. Yeah, this was came out in 1993. This is actually the last book that he wrote, that James Clavell wrote. He actually wrote King Rat first, because he was in the James Clavell was in a POW camp, a Japanese POW camp. So he wrote King Rat first, and then kind of worked backwards and then forwards. So Shogun was actually written third. And so King Rat was first, even though in the Asian Saga, which is on the side here, Gai-Jin was actually 1862, was actually third in the series. I'm enjoying it so far. It's very good. So that's all the books I got from Half Price Bookstore and charity shops this weekend, Friday and Sunday. So thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you like, and take care and have a good week.